if you can hear me. All right. Well, my name's Clay Jacobson. I'm the Trail Program Director with Idaho Trails Association, and it's my pleasure to welcome you guys to ITA's celebration of 10 years of doing volunteer trail maintenance on Idaho's trails. Big round of applause to all the amazing people that are involved in this group and have put so much time and work into this program and into our trails, something that we all love and makes Idaho such a great place to live. We got this was supposed to be a big party in the spring, and obviously we had to delay that. We were holding out hope that maybe we'd be able to get together in person at one of our favorite breweries, but instead we got this Zoom meeting, and we have a pretty exciting schedule for you guys tonight. We've got I'm going to do an overview of the 2020 season, and we'll talk about some of our accomplishments for this year. We'll have a message from Pam Bond, one of our board members, and she's going to talk about her Women in the Wilderness program and the trail reporter that she started this year. We're going to hear from our executive director, Jeff Halligan, who is retiring this year after a lot of years of really helping ITA grow and turning ITA into what it's become today, 10 years later. Then we're going to have a panel discussion with some of the folks that actually helped found ITA, and that should be interesting to get some history about the group and hear about some of the first projects and how this idea kind of got off the ground. Also joining us for some live music is a good buddy of mine, Dave Henry, and he's been playing around Idaho for about 10 years, and he's an incredible musician. So that's going to be a nice treat and kind of help keep things moving along in this Zoom meeting. We're going to try and keep it to about an hour, and yeah, we appreciate you guys joining us tonight. So we're going to start off here with a survey question. I'm going to do a little choose your own adventure. Can you pop that up, Kelly? All right. So we're going to let you guys decide what hat I wear for the rest of this meeting. I'm going to pick a normal one. All right, Kelly, what's the results? I knew it. I knew it. Well, thank you guys for being so concerned about my safety. We're also going to do some trivia tonight, and we have some giveaways. We're going to give out 3 cups to the winners of the trivia, the top 3. If you haven't seen the cups, they're really nice stainless, like a wine glass backpacking cup with the ITA logo on it and the 10th anniversary logo. And then we're doing, for all the attendees, we're going to do a drawing after the event, and we'll email the results of who won the cups and who is going to win a proof package from Proof Sunglasses. And these are made in Idaho, local company based out of Boise. And these sunglasses are made with reclaimed wood. Really cool sunglasses, and I think these are about $120 value. But we've also got some beanies and a hydro flask, a t-shirt, and some stickers and stuff. So really cool package from Proof Sunglasses. We appreciate the support from them. Okay, so we'll do the trivia just like we did that survey, and we'll pop up the questions for you right now. I knew I was going to be wearing this hard hat. In what year was ITA founded? Some basic math. All right. Yeah, so we started in 2010. It's 2020 now, and this is our 10th year anniversary, and so that's a decade of trail work that we've been doing. Then our next question. Some of ITA's original founders have gone on to be involved in what other Idaho nonprofits? That's right, all of the above. And so tonight we want to thank, not just thank everyone for the work that they have done for ITA, but really keep Idaho a great place to be and to recreate and to enjoy trails. So now I'm going to introduce my buddy Dave Henry. You can check him out at davidhenrymusic.com. And if you like what you hear, which I think you will, you can find him on November 7th at a songwriter showcase at the Drop in Garden City. Take it away, Dave.
Hi, folks. My name is David Henry. It's good to be here. It's good to perform for you guys. We really appreciate you guys coming out to this celebration. I myself use trails quite frequently here in Idaho, so I appreciate all the hard work you guys do to keep those trails looking good and safe. So here's a song for you guys to get you guys off on this celebration here. Here we are now, it's a brand new start. Got my hiking boots nice and clean. Sun is rising behind those trees. Silhouetted leaf still blows in the breeze of my mind, of my mind. Standing on a cliffside in northern Europe, land of my forefathers, I'm told. And I asked the barkeep what it looked like before the war. Said new rocks, come kid, and they'll shine in the sun. And those old rocks you see will crash, fall into the ocean, fall into the ocean. But I won't sit and worry about the mistakes I made, how many risks I take. Now I won't sit and wonder how many days it'll take for this old heat to break. Old heat to break. Stayed up all night just trying to fight the dreams. Watch the stars fly across the sky. Count up all the times that luck found a way to save me. Found a way to save me. But I wonder about the mistakes I made, how many risks I take. No, I won't sit and worry how many days it'll take for this old heat named heat to break. Break. It's old heat to break. Yeah. Broke a string on that one. That was because of all that hardcore jamming we were doing on the campfire last night. Sorry about that. Thanks for having me, Clay. We'll see you guys in a little bit.
All right. Thanks, Dave. That was awesome. Excellent, man. So moving on, we got a survey question real quick. This is not a trivia. It's just a yes or no question. Just polling the audience here. In case you were wondering, I did not take my hard hat off that whole time. Dedicated to the cause. All right. Well, it's great to see so many members here, and also excellent to see people that aren't members that are checking out ITA maybe for the first time. And so I'm glad you joined us for this celebration of our 10 years. Now we're going to do a couple more trivia questions really quick. Now we're getting into the tricky ones, guys. These first two were softballs. The crosscut saw has a repeating pattern of one raker and how many cutting teeth? You'll know this if you've been to any of Jeff's saw clinics. All right. Most people got that one right. That's 4 cutting teeth. Now here's a little Idaho wilderness history. Which ranch in the Frank Church was the historic homestead of Cougar Dave Lewis and is now a University of Idaho research station? That's right, Taylor Ranch. If you've been to any of these ranches, consider yourself lucky because these are some very special places in Idaho. Even Lighthouse Ranch, which they make in Sandpoint. I was pretty proud of that joke, guys. All right, we're gonna have Pam Bond talk about the programs that she's been running and all the amazing work she's been doing, empowering women and getting people out into the trails, getting people schooled up on tools and trail work, and really engaging a new group that ITA is really excited to have a part of our community and our volunteer base. And yeah, Pam is a amazing part of ITA. It's incredible how much work she does and the knowledge that she has. She's a great asset to our organization.
Okay, well, thanks for all the nice words, Clay.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so I've been with ITA for, oh gosh, I want to say like 4 years, maybe. Can you guys see my screen? Clay, can you give me a thumbs up if you can see it? Yeah, okay. So yeah, so this year marks our, I believe, 3rd season. of the Women Only Weekends, the Women in the Wild program, and it just kind of happened by happenstance. It wasn't planned necessarily to be a program that continued with ITA. It just started with, I went out on a trip with a women's adventure group called the Bold Betties out of Boise, and they had so much fun. They asked to do it again in the fall, and we invited some, we opened it up to our general ITA membership, and a program was born. And so I tried to do at least one project a month during the season. So like June, July, August, September, try and do one project. So this year we had, I think we actually had, yeah, we had 4 projects happen. And just to give you some quick stats, so we had 37 women out, do 472 hours of work, had quite a bit of work doing just general maintenance, a lot of water bars, installed some check dams, cleared some culverts, lots of down trees this year, some brushing. And then a new thing for me and probably most of the women on that project is we helped build part of a boardwalk in North Idaho. That was a super fun project to be a part of. So we're a little bit spread out of the state. I live in Boise, Idaho, so most of the projects I've set up in the past have been close to Boise, but we did branch out this year and get to do a trip up here in the Blacktail Moose Lake area, did a project here in the Needles, down on the Queens River near Atlanta, and then we do a co-op trip with the Wood River Trails Coalition. So the Needles Trail, if you're not familiar with it, is east of Donnelly in the Patty Flat Kenley Creek area. That was actually led by Patty Seeger and just a great group of gals. This was very early, so it was interesting because we were dealing with COVID and spacing and sanitizing tools, and everybody was really great about it. This was an awesome trip because we did kind of pack in a little bit, and we actually had a volunteer, Jill Maroff from McCall, pack in a bunch of gear for us. So that was good because some of the gals had quite a bit of camping gear, and we had a fairly posh camp set up there. Lots of tree clearing on that trip, and lots of mosquitoes. So we definitely had our work cut out for us there. And for the last few years, we've also been doing a co-op trip with the Wood River Trails Coalition. If you don't know, haven't heard of them, check them out. They're kind of the local caretaker in the Sun Valley Ketchum area. And we worked on the Prairie Minor Loop Trail, which is here just, so Ketchum is probably over here. Really cool trail, very accessible. That would be a pretty good one up to the Prairie Lakes if you have kids and families. It's a little bit steeper on the minor side, but we cleared out a bunch of trails and built a bunch of drains. As you can see, there's a baby on this trip. So ladies, no excuses. Kaya is the Wood River Trails employee who was out with us, and she had her, I think it was like 4-month-old baby with us the entire time. So both her and her kid were troopers. They did awesome. He didn't complain. He just rode around in his little carrier there, and she did a lot of work. It was a great group of people. And we had Kelly, our communications and outreach specialist, with us. So she took a ton of really awesome pictures from that trip, and just a super, super beautiful area. And then up in North Idaho, we were up near Moose Mountain, east of Sandpoint and Hope. Super, super pretty area. I haven't got to spend a lot of time up there, but the big thing, was working on this boardwalk. We partnered with Lisa Portune from the Sandpoint Ranger District. That's her right there. Super fun gal, very good with the volunteers. It was a lot of work dealing with a lot of big nails and a lot of big hammers, but everyone really got into it, and we busted out like 100 foot of that project. So we nearly finished it. And Lisa was super, super thankful that we were all there to pitch in and help get a big chunk of that bridge work done. Awesome views coming down from the Moose Mountain area, looking down into Moose Lake. So check that out. And then last one of the season was the Little Queens River Trail. This goes into the Sawtooth National Rec area, close to Atlanta, which I think is over here somewhere, right here. This area got burned pretty severely a few years ago. oh gosh, probably more than a few years ago now. And so I think it's been hit pretty hard with people working on trying to clear out down trees and things like that, but there's always more. We actually got in there after we had that kind of freak windstorm that hit, I don't know what all parts of Idaho, but we were small but mighty. There were only 5 of us on that trip, but we were clearing out downed live trees, which has its own challenges. So that was pretty interesting. But you know, the trail was looking like this, and we did a lot of work to get it cleared out. Quite a bit of down trees that we had to be dealing with there, but got pretty far. So thank you so much for all the volunteers who came out. I really hope to see more people out next year. And it's just been a really awesome to see that program growing, and the people, the women who come out are truly, they empower each other, and it's just a really awesome environment. So next, I was just going to talk a little bit about the Trail Reporter. This is a new feature with Idaho Trails Association this year. And now is the time to submit your trail reports, because you can possibly win a backpacker meal bundle, something not exactly like what the picture here is, but something like this. So if you go and submit a trail report now, between now and the end of the month, and it could be on a trail that you hiked earlier in the season even, you'll get entered into that drawing. So all you need to do is go to idahotrailsassociation.org/trail reporter, fill out the survey, and you'll be entered to win. And then also do know that you can go out to, there's also on our website, on that same link, you can actually see the reports that people have been adding. And so I was super stoked to see that we had like over 100 reports in our first season. So I felt pretty good about that. And it's pretty interactive. You can zoom in and out. As you move around, you can see the list changes. You can click on a specific trail to get information about, you know, their overall trip report, if there's mud or anything like that. Some folks even are submitting some pictures to show you kind of what they're seeing out there. So please check that out and get your trail reports in, and remember us for next season. This information helps inform the work priorities that we have, and it can be passed along to the different Forest Service districts for them to help prioritize some of their own work. So I think that's all I have. And who am I? Oh yes, I get to introduce our executive director. What a privilege. So next up, we are going to have Jeff Halligan talk about the state of the trails and give us an ITA update about the youth program and things of that nature. Jeff has done so much for us in his time with ITA, and we're all really thankful for the direction that he's gotten us, and all of the actually, you know, we're doing more and more projects, reaching out to more and more places in the state. He's really helped us bolster the program. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Jeff.
All right. Thank you, Pam. Am I on now? Let's see. Okay. So the state of the trails. So the Great American Outdoor Act was passed this year, and talking with the Forest Service folks, they don't know how much money that's going to bring in. And they were talking, there's quite a bit of money going to each ranger district that we work for. So that's good news. But the direction they're getting to how to spend this money is to increase work with the partners, which is even better. I like that. So the state of the trails, we all know the trails on the ground are all in pretty harsh shape, but the future is actually looking better. There's good opportunities for a lot more people to get out and help with trail work and things like that. We might be able to get some funding to help things get better out there. The youth program, we started the youth program in 2019. We got a grant from the Wood River Women's Foundation, and that started the process. And we, last year in 2019, we had 3 projects. One was in the Sawtooth Valley, one was in the Middle Fork of the Salmon River, and the third one was in the Frank Church down on Big Creek. and all three of them were very successful. Had a lot of kids. We had 27 kids show up, and each project was a week long. They had a great time. We have a lot of returnees that want to bring their little brothers and their friends and stuff like that. So we have quite a few people wanting to do more youth work. This past year, we had a couple of projects scheduled, but with the COVID, we decided not to mix up all these kids from all over the state and all over the Northwest. So we went ahead and canceled the projects for 2020. And in 2021, things are looking pretty good. We needed to raise some more funding to pay for these projects. We had a fundraiser last fall dedicated directly to the youth program, which raised about $8,500. We got a grant from Laura Moore Cunningham Foundation for another $5,000. Sats Ashbury Family Foundation gave us $1,000. Margaret Hetch gave us $1,000. Art Troutner gave us $1,000. The Mackey Foundation gave us $3,000. And we were able to we talked with Harry Morrison Foundation, and they challenged us to raise $20,000. And if we could raise the $20,000, they would write a check for another 10 for the youth program. We met that $20,000 challenge. And so I'm talking to the foundation right now, and they're getting ready to give us a $10,000 check. So we have about $30,000 dedicated to the youth program. And the idea is we will have 6 projects strictly for youth across the state of Idaho in 21. So we need to figure out how that's all going to work and how we're going to do that. And then Harry Morrison Foundation told us that they would be willing to do that for us again in next year for 2022. They would challenge us to raise 20,000. They'll give us another 10. So the youth program's looking up. We're also talking to some other foundations and things to try to get some more money and dedicated towards the youth, because that seems to be a really big program for us. And then moving on, I want to thank all the volunteers and the members of ITA for all the good work and many hours put into everything, not just trail work, but helping us out with our fundraisers and with our parties and stuff like that. There's a lot of people that put in a lot of time to help us out and help us be successful. ITA would not exist without all the volunteers out there. And then, so most of you probably know, and if you don't know, I'll tell everybody now, I'm planning on retiring at the end of the year. I've had a great run with my career. I've had a great time with ITA, but it's time for me to go and start playing in the backcountry and not worry about deadlines and things like that, where Jenny and I can just go have some fun and with a little less stress in our lives. So I'm planning on retiring at the end of the year. We've advertised the executive director position, and we had a lot of applicants. I was really impressed with the amount of applicants we had, and we had a lot of really quality applicants. We're down to 3 finalists, and we have 3 super quality finalists that we're trying to figure out who would be the perfect fit. And so we don't know yet, but we will hopefully have that and be able to announce that here pretty soon. And so that's kind of where we're at right now. And back to you, Clay. Oh, I'm also retiring my hat. This was my hat.
Looks like it's about time.
Yeah.
Well, Jeff, big thank you for all that you've done for ITA, and it's been awesome working for you. I've learned a lot, and respect the heck out of you, man. We'll miss you.
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun.
Well, we figured we'd send Jeff off by sending out another survey question, and we're gonna ask you guys what Jeff should do once he retires. All right, Jeff. Looks like it's been decided. Looks like he was rooting for that one. All right, now I'm going to do just a quick summary of our 2020 season. 2020 for us, like the rest of the world, was a pretty strange year, and there was definitely some impacts to our program with the pandemic. But we still had a very successful year, even after having to cancel quite a few projects and missing the first month of the season. We definitely jumped right into it as soon as we could, and thankfully didn't have any, as far as we're aware, didn't have anyone contract the sickness or anything like that. So we were able to do our work safely and follow the plans that we put into place. So that was a big success. Got to share my screen. So here's 2020 by the numbers. This year, see, we almost had as much as many volunteers as we did last year. 259. That's 259 people that we got, kind of away from all the craziness happening back in town and getting them out into, the Idaho backcountry, doing something positive, being a part of something positive. And so that's definitely a number to be proud of. 259 volunteers this year. Volunteer hours are obviously down a little bit because of the missed projects, but we still managed to rack up almost 5,000 hours, even though we didn't start the season until the end of June. Mileage, we almost matched 2019. We did 175.3 miles of trail this year, which is just truly incredible to be doing work on that scale, where everyone is volunteering their time and coming out to do this difficult work. But that's something definitely to be proud of. 175 miles. This year we had 8 week-longs. We had to cancel a few of them again because of COVID. Last year we had 13, but this year we had quite a few more 5-day projects. We did that because people, just based on feedback from our volunteers, people are interested in some shorter trips. Maybe 5 days is easier to get off work than 7. And we also had a couple projects that were previously weekend trips that we kind of made some progress on those, so that weekend just wasn't quite long enough to continue further down the trail. So Caton Lake project, kind of up in the South Fork of the Salmon Country, and then the Middle Fork of the Payette. Both of those got upgraded to 5-day projects this season, and really seeing some tremendous progress on those trails. They're looking really great. So this year we had a total of 35 projects. What is that? 21 one-day and weekend projects. And kind of the trend that we saw this year is things did start slow, as there's a lot of unanswered questions and uncertainty about what was happening. But by the end of the year, we started getting some good sized groups and really racking up some hours and doing some great work. So we really appreciate you guys, braving all this craziness and still coming out and being dedicated to ITA's program and to Idaho's trails. You can see we actually had to cancel 10 projects. So had it been a normal season, we would have been at about 45 projects and, continued growing like we've been doing every year since ITA started in 2010. This year we cut 2,691 trees, which is, more than double what we did last year. And we had a lot of projects where even on weekend trips, they were doing 200-300 trees. But that big number is thanks to John Platt and his crew that flew out to Cold Meadows. And I think they cut 1,400 trees in that week, which is just kind of hard to imagine. Those guys must have been sawing very quickly. That's good work, guys. That's incredible. This year, I know on my projects, we did a lot of tread work and a lot of brushing. So we did almost a mile of new tread, which if you were fortunate enough to be a part of doing some of that tread work, that is hard work and slow going. So an entire mile of fresh tread is a lot of work. And then almost 3 miles of brushing we logged this year. 14,360 feet of brushing. lot of you guys got very familiar with the loppers this year, and we appreciate that. And we cleaned 576 water bars. So just to get a little window into our ITA season, I picked 10 photos from our website. We had a link set up. Kelly set up a place where we could have the volunteers submit their own photos. And so here's top 10 as decided by me. Here's volunteers doing what they do best. The Alice Talks Away project, just having a great time. This is a photo by Dennis Liming on the East Fork Boulder Creek. I picked this photo just, if you haven't got to hike in North Idaho, this is what you're missing out on. Just beautiful, lush, green forest. Just truly special. There's a photo of Kelly Hughes. Because it's Mark Sugden and Terry Patterson, two volunteer crew leaders that have been running projects for us for the last couple of years. So just wanted to take a second and recognize them and thank them for all the work they've done running the Alice Talks Away project, and they did Little Queens River this year. So nice job, guys. Here's one of our former volunteers of the year, Howard Shea. This photo is by Debbie Griggs on the Evans Landing project. And I picked this picture because you can see a young guy here learning the silky saw, getting to meet Howard Shea, have a great role model. This is like the type of experience we want for our youth program. Just something very positive to bring to people and get them interested in trails and get them out here out the silkies in their hands. And they got brand new orange hard hats. Pretty nice. It's a photo by Glenn Florence on the Snow Peak Lookout project. This is Cindy Walker, and she cooked on a lot of our projects, but besides that, she spent all winter and spring helping to come up with a menu, coordinate with Life's Kitchen, which is another nonprofit that we worked with to help prepare the food. And she really did a tremendous amount of work getting that all together. And I got to eat it on one of my projects, and got to say that was some great food. And you can see in the picture, waffles and sausage. Hard to beat that out in the backcountry. It's better than Pop-Tarts and instant coffee. So thank you, Cindy. This is a cool picture from North Idaho from the Long Canyon project by a photo by Greg Retschlag. Had some swift water crossings here, so they set up a rope, like a zip line across to help everyone get across safely. I just thought that was a pretty unique experience to have on the trail, doing some rope work like that. Thankfully, Greg is with Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue, so he's familiar with safety ropes, and appreciate you doing what you do, Greg, and keeping us safe out there in the backcountry. Here's a picture from the Middle Fork of the Payette River. We had this visitor to our camp, and he hung out all afternoon, came back the next day to steal somebody's water bladder while we were on the trail. Then we had to chase him away, and he didn't come back. But this was memorable just because literally just 5 minutes before we saw this bear, a member of the general public that I was talking to was totally convinced that there was no way that a bear could be on the Middle Fork of the Payette River. He was 100% confident that there was no bears. And then we went around the corner and there was one right there. Pretty funny moment. This is a great photo by Eric Campbell. It's Art Troutner, who's a longtime dedicated volunteer for Idaho Trails Association, and just a really great guy. This is on Little Queens River outside of Atlanta. Beautiful shot, Eric. Here's another photo by Kelly, and this was after getting rained on all day in Hell's Canyon. We went in there in July and we're expecting to get roasted. The temps can get pretty high in there. Instead, it was freezing cold and rained, and so we ended up having this campfire, and It's just a beautiful spot, and another great photo by Kelly. The light in this picture is just awesome. Nice job, Kelly. Here's another furry friend, another photo by Glenn Florence on the Snow Peak Lookout. I just like this goofy guy with his tongue out and his broken horn. It's a phenomenal, phenomenal picture, Glenn. It's just a little taste of some of the things you get to see when you go out and volunteer with ITA. So thank you, everyone. Thanks for being a part of this season and making it such a great year. Okay, now we got 2 more quick trivia questions. That's right, Alice Talksaway Loop. That's one we've been doing annually. I think maybe since our 2nd year. Always a great place to go. One of the most beautiful trails in Idaho, and gets a lot of use, so it needs a lot of maintenance. Next trivia question. Which remote guard station in the Frank Church was home to our executive director, Jeff Halligan, when he was a Forest Service horsepacker? That's right, Chamberlain Basin. You guys are doing great on these questions. All right, now I'm going to bring in our panelists. So joining us for this discussion, we've got Brad Brooks from the Wilderness Society, Brad Smith, who's now with Idaho Conservation League, Phil Huff, the Executive Director of Friends of the Scotchman's Peaks Wilderness, and Sally Ferguson, Executive Director of the Selway Bitterroot Frank Church Foundation. My first question for you guys was, what hike inspired your involvement in ITA, and how many blowdowns were there on it? Is there a trail that convinced you it was time to go out there and start sawing logs?
Yes, there was. And it's not the answer you're expecting. It's not the Scotchman Peak Trail. That's always been pretty clean. But in 2010, when we were first getting going, I hiked part of the Continental Divide Trail in Colorado. And because of the bark beetle kill, there were old growth trees 3 and 4 feet around that were down across the South Weminuche. And it was absolutely infuriating trying to get through them, and really clear that our wilderness areas need some loving from time to time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think it was probably Pistol Creek in the Frank, actually. Which was, yeah, but a lot of trails in the Frank, actually, that, yeah, just needed some love.
Still do. Go ahead, Sally.
Oh, that's a really good question. I think some of that work that that we ended up accomplishing out in the Oahe really kind of got me excited with working with the BLM.
Yeah, very cool. Anything come to mind, Brad?
Yeah, I'd actually echo what Sally said. You know, that was right after the Oahe wilderness legislation had passed, and you know, there are 500,000 acres of new wilderness down in the Oahes that the BLM needed help with getting trails going. So it wasn't so much cutting out trees, but you know, some of it was taking old roads and getting them into single track trails, and you know, hauling out, raking out rocks and things like that, and pulling up barbed wire fence and stuff like that. So not so much trees, but really just the effort to get access to the Oahe wilderness areas.
Mhm.
Great. Yeah, I was hiking the Idaho Centennial Trail that brought me to ITA. A lot of blowdowns. If someone would like to just talk about kind of how the idea of ITA came together and how it got started, and then we'll kind of go around and like to hear what role that you played.
I think you should go, Sally.
Well, first of all, I have to say it's really lovely to be reunited with these characters on the panel. They accused me of roping them into being involved, but I disagree completely. The eagerness was absolutely off the chart. Idaho Trails Association officially started with a mission statement and intentions in the first of 2010, but the intentions of and the need for it had been bubbling for quite a while. And one of the things I'm so grateful for is how many people from not just Idaho, but from Montana and agency folks as well came together to really help move the concept into reality.
Yeah, I think there was a circle of conversations happening in the year or two leading up to it. So it's hard to pinpoint where the circle starts or ends, but each one of us with our other affiliations are involved with organizations that deal not only with clear cuts, but with advocacy. And one of the things Idaho's trails needed then and still do now is someone to speak up for them. And some of the conversations that were had at a thing called Quiet Commotion, an event put on in 2008 that maybe the two Brads would like to talk about their roles in instigating, but which all of us were present at and had some speaking parts. And then lots of conversations as all good ideas come together in the bar afterwards about what might happen.
Yeah, I think Quiet Commotion may have kind of been the spark that really got things going. And for those who don't know, Quiet Commotion was an event that was held in Boise, and I think 2008 was the year. And it was around the time that the Forest Service was starting to develop travel plans, which are basically plans for which trails and roads on the National Forest System would be open to motorized and non-motorized uses. And we brought non-motorized interests across the state together for this Quiet Commotion event, and brought in Forest Service and BLM agency staffers and elected staffers from elected officials, and to really show that there was a need to have trails for non-motorized use. The motorized users were quite organized and had a strong lobby. And I think after Quiet Commotion, we realized that there really wasn't a voice in Idaho for hikers, and that we needed to have a unified voice to speak up for hiking trails and non-motorized trails, to show that there were users who cherished that experience and wanted it protected and wanted the trails maintained. So I think that was really part of the catalyst for it. And it was also around that time that there were, a completed campaign for the Oahe Wilderness and an active campaign to establish the Boulder White Clouds Wilderness. And occasionally you would hear people say, well, we can't have wilderness or have any more wilderness because we can't maintain those trails. And so we wanted to show that there were non-motorized users who were willing to put in the time to take care of those trails in the backcountry.
Yeah, the only thing I'd add on to all of that you said is, and one of the things that I think is so, I just have to say it's amazing to see what ITA and all of you have done with this organization, because it was a struggle to keep it going in the beginning. But I still feel, but at the time felt like there were a lot of people who hyped and enjoyed non-motorized trails but didn't have any skin in the game. So there wasn't as much of a personal connection that a lot of folks in like the mountain bike and motorized community had with trails, where it's like they went out, they still do, they go out, take care of those trails, they steward those places. And if there is ever a threat to that place, they care because they have skin in the game. And so part of the vision with ITA was to create a community of people that had skin in the game. I will say too, just at a more fundamental level, that I did a trail work party with the Selby Group Frank Church Foundation, great organization as well. And that really, for me, was just like an eye opener about, this is actually a lot of fun to take care of trails. It's hard work, but it's just a blast, and you really get this sense of community with total strangers that anybody and all of you who've ever been on a trail work party know what that's like. So there was this community element to ITA that you're not only taking care of a place, having a good time, getting these sort of tangible benefits from doing stewardship work, but you're also sort of building the next generation of conservationists.
Yeah, I think it's important to remember that when we formed in 2010, we were on the second year of a recession. And as that recession hit government budgets, the agencies are looking for partners to do more work. And the organization that I'm part of, the Friends, had stepped up with our first big scale volunteer project in May and June of 2010, and had such a tremendous turnout. It was an aha moment that there's some real untapped potential here. And that's going to be true not only of our group and our little area, but we can look statewide to tap into the human resources, the human capacity, as well as our ability to organize.
Great. And so now we're 10 years in. Where do you guys see ITA being 10 years from now?
So I think it's really awesome to see as a founder that you guys have 4 staff now. You're doing all this incredible work. The stewardship program is really rocking, and the trail maintenance work is happening. It's really incredible to see, because when we were starting, there's always that uncertainty about, is this actually going to get wings and take off? And it has. And I'm just so proud of all you guys with ITA that have built the organization to where it is. And I think as the organization starts to look at its next 10 years, there's really some opportunities to really become more of a voice to be an advocate for trails and wild places that complements the stewardship work. And also too, I think just on the education front, there's a lot of people, I think, that feel disconnected from wild places and feel disconnected from nature, and they want to get out and enjoy the land, but they don't know how to. And they need someone to teach them the skills they need to get out on the land, help them figure out what kind of gear they need, because they don't always get that from their families. I was fortunate enough to be raised in a family where that was part of the scene, but that's not the same for everybody. And so, as ITA looks for the next 10 years, I think those are a couple of areas for growth.
Yeah, I think the next 10 years, I hope it's not so much about growing taller, but maybe stronger, which Jeff touched on the youth, and that's really a focus of where ITA is starting to work in terms of growth. And Pam touched on the women's only, and filling in some of the gaps of folks who haven't been out on trail projects as much as they might have, and filling in some of the geographic gaps too, and doing more projects in literally more of the corners of the state. And so growth isn't just about unmanaged, uncontrolled largesse. It's about really being strategic and filling in where needed.
Yeah, I agree with both Brad and Phil. And I also think that on a kind of a different level, the opportunity continues to grow working with agency partners. As partners retire out, and ITA has had this really stellar 10-year trajectory, the next 10 really is an opportunity to show that partnerships aren't just volunteers. They're shoulder to shoulder resources that are critical to helping the forests and the BLM get the work done that they aren't going to be able to get done otherwise.
I guess just the only thing that I agree with all of you. I agree with all of you.
We're so
Shocking.
smart.
Shocking.
I would say, you know, when I think of like filling in the gaps, what Phil said, I think about who are the, you know, the power of stewardship, the power of ITA is in helping forge a connection with people of the outdoors. So it's youth, but it's also thinking about who are the next generation of leaders in this state, and how can ITA be a conduit to help forge a connection with wild places or even just the outdoors. Think about the sort of the not just, you know, the diversity element too in Idaho. So anyways, there's a lot of power for ITA to help build that stewardship connection with the next generation of political leaders, with outdoor leaders, whether that's in, you know, government, nonprofit, business sector. And so thinking about how ITA can help to sort of build that, be that bridge. And I also want ITA to just be a household name with people. I feel like the brand of ITA has grown tremendously to the point where people that have no idea that I had anything to do with this little organization know what ITA is and will bring it up to me, which is phenomenal and speaks to the work that you guys have done. Build that brand, build that recognition for the organization.
Yeah.
Great.
Nice.
Well, we're kind of running out of time here, so I think we're going to wrap it up there. But, you know, people have great ideas all the time, and we're lucky that you guys are the folks that got together and make it happen and got this one off the ground. And now we're here 10 years later, done hundreds and hundreds of miles of trail work in Idaho, and just congratulations. Well done.
Bright future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Cheers to ITA, 10 more, 20 more. And I think the original founders need to get together.
Yes, we do. Next time in 3 years, I want to see more beer in front of us.
Mine's off the screen, Phil.
Well, thanks so much for joining us tonight, guys.
Thanks for the
Thank
opportunity,
you. It was a
Clay.
pleasure.
And Jeff,
Absolutely.
and Kelly. Awesome.
All right, I got just a few little dates to mention. We're getting into that time of year where we're going to be doing our membership drive starting November 1st. And so that's when we renew everyone's memberships, do a lot of outreach, engagement with the public. You know, hopefully we can do more events like this, maybe some in-person events. Who knows what the future holds, but membership drive is big time for ITA and very important for our program, and hope you'll join us for that. November 10th and at 5:30 p.m. Pacific, 6:30 Mountain Time, in partnership with Friends of the Scotchman's Peaks Wilderness. Our November webinar is featuring Derek Lugo, the author of The Unlikely Thru Hiker, and he's a Black man from the New York City area who'd never done any hiking, and he went and thru hiked the Appalachian Trail. And I've actually heard about this presentation, and it's been wildly successful and gets people thinking about some very timely topics. I think people will be really interested in seeing that. That's November 10th at 5:30 Pacific, 6:30 Mountain Time. Then December 3rd, we'll be joining the Payette National Forest Heritage Program for a presentation on the Three Blaze Trail. Three Blaze Trail was built in 1902. It was the trail to Florence and the Thunder Mountain Mine. And the trail's been kind of lost. It just crosses the Frank Church. And we've actually sent some volunteers out retracing the trail and trying to map it out, find the original location. So this will be an awesome presentation about a historic trail in Idaho. December 3rd at 6 p.m. And we got a couple more quick trivia questions and another song, and we'll wrap it up. Which famous forester from North Idaho invented a ubiquitous trail tool and saved the lives of their crew during the Great Fire of 1910? That's right, Ed Pulaski. I'm glad some people went with Spud McLeod because I like that name. Who landed a helicopter at Board President Tom Dabrowski's house during an ITA volunteer appreciation party? That's right, Two Bear Air. Quite a sight to see a helicopter landing in your backyard. Now we've got one more poll. We're gonna let you guys pick what song Dave plays next. I'm gonna drop his link in the chat here. All right, results are in. It's gonna be Clay Pigeons.
Are you going now?
Yep, take it away.
Well, thanks again for having me, guys. Congratulations on the 10-year celebration again. Congratulations on all your great work. Keep it up. Here's a little. This song is actually a song by Blaze Foley, but John Prine made it famous. It's called Clay Pigeons. Going down to the Greyhound station, gonna buy a ticket to ride. Gonna find that lady with 2 or 3 kids and sit down by her side. Oh, ride till the sun goes up and down around 2 or 3 times. Smoking cigarettes in the back seat, singing songs for the people I meet. I get along with it all. Where do people say y'all? Sing a song with a friend, change the shape that I'm in. We'll get back in the game, start playing again. Yeah, I'd like to stay, but I might have to go start over again. Might go back out to Texas, might go somewhere I'd never been. Oh, get up in the morning, go out at night, I won't have to go home. Get used to being alone, change the words to this song, we'll start singing again. Now I'm tired running around looking for answers to questions that I already know. I can build a castle of memories just to have somewhere to go. Count the days and the nights that it takes to get back in the saddle again. Feed the pigeons some clay, turn the night into day. Start talking again when I know what to say. Going down to the Greyhound station, gonna buy a ticket to ride. Gonna find that lady with 2 or 3 kids and sit down by her side. Oh, ride till the sun goes up and down around 2 or 3 times. Smoking cigarettes in the back seat, singing songs for the people I meet. I get along with it all. Where the people say y'all, feed the pigeons some clay, turn the night into day. Start talking again when I know what to say. Thanks, guys. I'm David Henry again. Have a great evening. Thanks, Clay.
Thank you, Dave. All righty, just a couple quick questions before we let you guys go for the night. As you guys know, we're always looking for more volunteer crew leaders, and this is a great chance to connect with some of you. So if you're interested in being a ITA crew leader, doing a crew leader college and leading some projects, then now's your chance to let us know. I see people getting peer pressured in the chat. All right. And something we saw this year that ITA has been talking about, you know, with the COVID pandemic going on, a lot of our trailheads got hit pretty hard in some of our camp spots, and we noticed, you know, increased impacts, trash, waste, human waste on trails and at trailheads. So we've been talking about some kind of trail ambassador, trailhead ambassador. Understand and are aware of leave no trace principles and stuff like that. If something like that is something that you're interested in, you can let us know on this next survey question. There we go. This would be another, you know, another way we could get volunteers out in the field helping our trails and let people spend time outdoors doing what they love. Alrighty, well, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Big thank you to all the volunteers, all the people that have dedicated their time and hard work to make ITA happen. It's really inspiring thing to be a part of, and glad to have been just finished my 5th season with ITA. Been fortunate enough to meet a lot of volunteers and do a lot of projects. So big give yourself a round of applause for everything that ITA has been able to accomplish with your help. So we'll be sending out an email soon, letting you guys know if you were a trivia winner and get a cup, or the lucky winner of our proof sunglasses raffle. Check your mailboxes for that. And anything else? Thanks for joining us, guys. Have a great night.